There you go. Getting these last second invites in. Welcome one, welcome all, everybody. We're about ready to get this thing started. Football talk with Russell Wayne in the house. Let's go. Yeah, welcome one. Look at that. What's going on? What's going on, Chad? Put what team you represent into the comments. Good morning, Bear Down Mike. Some of you are obvious. Good morning, Fred. Good morning, Jordan. Oh, here we are. It is Thursday. Here we are on Thursday, and welcome one, welcome all to NFC North Talk with your host, Russell Wayne. That is me, and we are broadcasting live into the Detroit Lion News. We are broadcasting live into Mike the Bear Fan. We are broadcasting live into the Detroit Lion Villain Squad, along with the Main Event 365 YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe the video that you're watching right here and right now, because we do this every day, and we know about the avid football fan, and that's us. We're the avid football fans. You wouldn't be watching a talking head right now, that being me, if you weren't an avid football fan. And we talk and discuss all of these things in NFC North. And we're going to get into something a little bit off keel here that I wanted to get into this John Harbaugh stuff today. I wanted to talk about Brad Holmes and the criticism that he is getting, more about what he's not doing. I wanted to talk about that a little bit. And then I want to talk about these matchups. You got Green Bay playing the Rams. You got the Bears playing the Saints, and the Vikings playing the Falcons. And I hope that I got that all right, because I did throw that in there up at last seconds. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But I wanted to talk about these things. What's going on, Chad? Chad says Lions one pride. Jordan in the house. One pride. We got some one prides going on here. What did you guys think of the trade deadline not doing anything? And by not doing anything, what I really mean is they did something. The Lions went out and picked up a wide receiver that I mean, I would say second tier, but we lost Marvin Jones. Yeah, Marvin Jones ended up leaving the team, left a void there in the wide receiver room. And they brought in a guy with a very similar body type, a Michigander, somebody from the University of Michigan, Donovan Peoples-Jones. Every time I hear that name, I think of like the People's Champion, The Rock. Can you smell what Brad Holmes is cooking? Right there. What's going on? Thank you, Bear Down Mike. I don't know what we're good jobbing, but, you know, I want to be able to do a good job at what I do. I don't know what I'm a good job at, but but thank you for that. Fred says that I think Holmes is a great GM. He's able to block out the noise and do what needs to be done. Not listening to the armchair GMs. That's the difference between this regime and the past decades. You think the past GMs were like listening to like 97 won the ticket, like Mike Valenti out there saying, "Oh, this is what they should be doing," and then they were listening? No, they never listened. No, they never listened to us. They should have listened to us armchair GMs, right? No, I'm totally okay with Brad Holmes betting on the guys that he brought in. I mean, there was a lot of talk out there that, hey, we needed to get a pass rusher. Did we? It's a team that had 6 sacks. And you guys can say it's only the Raiders. I'm tired of hearing those different things, because you like to use those excuses. Oh, it's only this and that when you're talking about how good the team is. But when a team like San Francisco drops 3 games, they lose to the Browns with PJ Walker, and they're supposed to be on this different level. You brought in an injury-prone Chase. Some of you Lion fans wanted us to go. Didn't want to pay a 3rd-round pick for him. A 3rd-round pick for an expiring contract and a guy that you have to pay. I don't like that. That's not in Brad Holmes' MO. He drafted these guys that are making impact. James Houston be coming back. So I like what Brad Holmes has done. What do you think about what Brad Holmes has done? I mean, Fred likes it, right? Dwayne says, good morning to all. Let's go. Let's go, Detroit Lions. One pride. Bear Down Mike, Lions, Bears, Vikings all gain good players, and the Packers lose a good player. Yeah, the Packers look like they're selling it in. You don't sell a player like Rasul Douglas if you think that your team's good. So, Packer fans, if there's any out there in that are in witness protection, you know, you can comment anonymously. But if there's anybody out there, what do you think? I mean, you're selling the season in, right? You guys thinking about next year? Is that what's going on? The Lions did get better. The Bears did get better. They did. The Bears got better. I think that you overpaid for Montez Sweat. I mean, he's a good D end. I'm telling you, I went under the assumption that when you got this guy, Montez Sweat, that you were going to be able to just re-sign him. You're going to spend a second round pick. You got to be able to re-sign this guy. So if Poles does not get this signing done, bear down, Mike. And I'm sure that he will. I mean, there's no way that you can spend a second round pick on a player and if you don't resign. If you rented this guy with your losing season, that'll be an incredible black eye on Poles if he doesn't get that done. But I think he gets it done. I mean, you don't spend a second round pick on a guy unless you want him to come here and be here long term, right? As it goes to the Chicago Bears. You want to bring this guy in, and he's going to be the cornerstone, right? You want to build around this guy. You're probably going to sign him to a $20+ million a year contract, and you build around him. That's the idea when you spend a second round pick on a guy. But you did get better there. The Vikings, I mean, that's a Band-Aid. I mean, somebody's got to throw the ball. So, is it even a guarantee that Dobbs would win the job over Jaron Hall? Does he come right in and start? That's the question I have for Viking fan. I mean, he probably does. I mean, but you only spent a 6th round pick. You really spent nothing on him. So, and Donovan Peoples-Jones, I mean, that fills a need, right? You need a contested ball guy. We really didn't even have a guy like that was experienced besides Marvin Jones. And Donovan Peoples-Jones offers that. He's big. He can go up and, catch the ball. Red zone target. He can play outside. He can play the slot too. He's tough. He blocks. He's a Michigan guy. That's what Michigan wide receivers. It don't matter if a Michigan wide receiver makes it into the NFL. He knows how to block. That's how they build him up there. I say up there because I'm an Ohio State fan, but we're going to talk about that. But look at that. Look at this. I'm looking in the background right there. Boom. Boom. Look at that. The 99 jersey. Welcome to the program. I love the jersey. That looks the 99.
That's
awesome?
Your
band. That's your band.
That's my band. And I got a custom Lions jersey for my band. Thanks to Detroit Dom. Shout out to Detroit Dom for the jersey hookup. It's baby NFL official, baby. Look at that. Look at that.
NFL official.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. And if
I gotta wear it now before it gets a chili stain right there or a mustard stain right there.
Well, I'm going to put a shameless plug out there. We are affiliated with the NFL shop. I don't want to sell you a jersey, but if you're going to buy a jersey anyway, it would be really awesome if you could use our link that's down into the description on this show. And that would
Russ,
be really cool.
I should tell everyone when I purchased this jersey from the link, I got 25% off by using the main events link. So that's awesome.
Yeah. So that's a pretty cool thing that they offer us with the affiliate links or whatever. I'm not even sure how all that things work, but we appreciate if you use our link. It doesn't cost you any more. Actually, it costs you less. Good. Anyway, we're done selling jerseys. We're talking about drinking this Kool-Aid. This Lions Kool-Aid. We have just kind of going through kind of where I wanted to go today, just to kind of bring you up to speed right here. And as you can see, we got Sir Slap Nasty in here too. Look at that. Welcome to the program. This is Grove GTT the 4th from And We Know Sports. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, my brothers. How y'all doing?
Good morning, G.
Boom. There we go.
I'm on that late musician clock again, boy. Wow.
Well, that's all right.
Yeah.
We'll bring it up to speed right here. What I really wanted to get to today, I mean, there's obviously I wanted to talk about this all of a sudden split fan base of all these bandwagon jumpers jumping off the deal because of what Brad Holmes didn't do. And we don't normally get into the college stuff, but I think that since you're on here, you two are Michigan fans. I am not going to sit up here and complain about the things that are happening in Michigan. I'm going to give you guys the floor as Michigan fans to put your thoughts in on Harbaugh. And then obviously we got these games this weekend that the Lions aren't involved because we nice and tight up at the top of the division, all nice in our bye week, getting all healthy, getting ready to whip that ass in the second half of the season. But we're going to talk about these other 3 games, Green Bay and the Rams. You got the Bears and the Saints and the Vikings and the Falcons, right? And I think I got that right. Am I correct on those?
Bears at the Saints. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure because I did everything really fast this morning and I didn't want to put like a week 10 matchup in there because, you know, I don't have an ultra expensive, like corporate, like editing team. Like if I don't do it, it don't get done. That's how it works, right? We don't care. We're all blue collar, just like our football team.
All right.
That's right. So, where do you want to start, Mike? I'll let you.
Well, I love your disclaimer that we don't normally go into college football, but when you have a Buckeye producing the show and Michigan's in a scandal, we must absolutely talk about it. So that's all I'm saying. But I want to tell you that I'm completely embarrassed. I do not subscribe to this. Some of the fans ought to be ashamed of themselves for making any excuses. Cheating is not okay in any level, at any level. Any win that you get this year, I don't care if you blew out Rutgers or who you beat, it's tainted and it's an embarrassment. And I'm a diehard fan, and some people need an explanation for what that means. That means whether we waste the career of Barry Sanders or Calvin Johnson, I'm still a fan. If we're caught cheating, I'm still a fan. Go blue now and forever. But I'm embarrassed, and I think the entire coaching staff should be fired so that the players don't have to suffer any consequences for their stupidity. GT, what do you think of the Wolverine scandal?
It's like going in the fridge and having some cereal, and you pour in the milk, and then you realize the milk is stale and it's
Good.
cold.
That's a good analogy.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like, in a year when our team looks amazing,
Mm-hmm.
we've had an extremely soft schedule, but Mike, Russ, I don't have no patience for cheaters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you're a family member or a stranger. If you on my team and you cheating, I'm going off, and you got to go.
Who wants a victory you had to cheat to get anyway? There's no satisfaction there. It's every day something comes out about this, G. Another nugget comes out every day, and this hole just keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And the only way Harbaugh is going to get out of it is to flee to the NFL, it feels like.
Well, I mean, this brother feels like he's some type of spy. I mean, like a straight up like professional spy. All of the colleges and the uniforms and the.
He got camera glass. He got glasses with a camera in it.
He's sweet.
What the hell?
As soon as
getting
all
all
that
high
drama
tech.
happened on the side with Central Michigan, he was like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, how does he know where the cameras are? Dude, he is sweet. If you're gonna be a villain, be sweet. And being a villain, being a bad guy. Wow.
There's actually footage now of this guy Stallion is his last name. This guy Stallion, Connor Stallion or something.
That's right.
There's now footage of this guy on the Michigan sideline tapping the OC, the DC, and the head coach on the shoulder, whispering in their ears. Okay, who has this kind of access? Who in the world can walk up to a college football coach during a game, tap him on the shoulder, and he's not going to go, get the hell away from me? Who are you? I'm in the middle of a game here. This guy obviously has some sort of information that Harbaugh finds important enough to pull his headset off and listen to what this guy has to say. It's an indictment. It's damning evidence. There's no way around it. The Big Ten's going to have to step in. And as a Michigan fan, I'm going to have to put my head in the sand on this one. I'm going to have to eat the shit from Russ for a couple of years on this one, I believe. This is 10 times worse than the tattoo scandal at Ohio that cost them a perfect season and a chance to play in a national championship. This is way worse. I don't see Michigan making it to the college football playoff in wake of this scandal.
They were saying that because of all of the appeals and the responses and things like that, that the actual sanctions wouldn't be held down or punishments or discipline until after the season. But that's changed since the new stuff, because I'm not hip to that new stuff, Mike. I've been writing. I've been in composition mode.
Right. And here's how it goes. The NCAA is investigating, okay? But it is the Big Ten that is the sanctioning body that needs to take action, and they've just been sitting on their hands. Yesterday, there was a meeting between all of the Big Ten coaches, and they voted unanimously that the Big Ten needs to take action against Jim Harbaugh and the Wolverines. So what that action is, no one knows yet, and it's kind of puzzling to think what it could be. I just feel like these players are going to get punished for something they had nothing to do with. They're going to go out there, play their asses off, do everything the coaches tell them, and then they're going to get shut out of being able to play in the postseason because of these cheaters, fucking cheaters. There's no other way around it. It's appalling.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, man, it put a bad taste in my mouth hearing it for the first time with you cats here on the main event. But the thing that really hurts about it is that I have despised the New England Patriots organization from all they cheating, and this is way worse. Mm-hmm. This is way worse than Deflategate. This is way worse than Spygate. This is way worse.
Right.
Because of the implementations, the way that this cat was doing, man, you could tell he was doing something that he knew he wasn't supposed to be doing, so he went way undercover, dude. Mm-hmm. I don't understand how he get onto these lists. You know, I heard the Central Michigan coach talking about it. He was like, yeah, I don't even know how he got on the list. I don't know what's going on with this guy, you know. And that's not – I'm speechless, man. I'm speechless.
Yeah, it's degrading to our program, and it's definitely – yeah, and like you say, how's this guy get on the list? Well, the reason is because it goes all the way to the top. They had a travel budget for this guy. They're sending him in, G. They're trying to paint him as the villain now, but nobody does this on their own.
No.
Right? They're giving him per diem. They're giving him the tools to get this done. This was a plan, and it becomes more and more evident every day. What do we got in the comments about this? And by the way, if you've got an opinion on this, please put it in the comments. We are talking to GT from And We Know Sports, our good friend who's with us every Thursday. Be sure to check GT and Fontaine out. They run an awesome show there on high definition television on Roku. That's HIGH, high definition TV.
High dimension.
Oh, high dimension. Damn it.
Thank you, brother. No, that's all right.
I did the exact same thing, brother. Oh, man.
Does it look so pretty? Fontaine got it looking so pretty that you wanted. Hey, that's high definition.
That's high definition right there. No, that's the band. The real good band called High Definition that's out there. But this is an interesting topic, and just because of the way Mike set it up, it's like this is part of the reason I don't even want to comment on this, because like I'm just a Buckeye fan yapping his yapper. I mean, it does make me jealous. Like if something happens that it's not like damning to the college football playoffs for Michigan, knowing that my team didn't get to go to the college football playoffs or have a shot at the national title at all over tattoos. And if Michigan somehow is able to go to the college football playoffs, it's going to make me feel a certain kind of way. It will. I'm not going to lie. I'm not just going to sit here and be like, oh, okay, I guess that's all right. You're stealing signs. You know, oh, no, everybody does it. Okay, well, sure.
I think we need to look at it in perspective, Russ, that and that was tragic. Jim Tressel losing his job and Ohio having an undefeated season and not being able to play. But let's be clear. That was something that the players did. They knew the rules, and the players broke the rules, so the players had to pay. In this instance, the players are going to end up paying. Mark my words. They're going to do something, and they're going to do something severe because the outrage is too much. These players are going to end up being penalized for what these stupid coaches did.
Correct. And that's the worst thing about it. And in the Ohio State thing, it was a select few players that did it. And there was a lot of players that were involved in that had nothing to do with it, that just had their seasons ruined, that were victims of that side. So I understand the victim side of it. And that sucks. Mm-hmm. That sucks. It sucks for the players regardless. Even if they fired all the coaches and they said, okay, Michigan can still compete, which I'd be okay with that. It probably won't happen like that, but just so the kids wouldn't have to pay for it,
right?
Because it comes down to it. Like, I root for all kids. When it comes down to it, it doesn't matter if you go to Ohio State or if you go to Michigan or Michigan State. That's 18 to 21-year-old kids, 22-year-old kids. Right. They're kids. I root for all kids when it comes to it.
Unless they're Packer fans.
I hate Michigan from the football standpoint, but Michigan University saved my child's life. Like, they discovered why my son was having seizures. That's what Michigan did for me. So I hate the football team, but I love everything about Michigan and what Michigan is doing. Okay. Like, when it comes to that side, I just want to say that.
And when you put it in context, Russ, the Ohio thing happened pre-NIL, right? If that would have happened today and some players traded tattoos for autographs, it wouldn't even make the news today. Okay.
No.
Cheating, however, is cheating. Those tattoos did not give Ohio State any kind of edge over their opponents. This is flat out cheating. And it's sad to say, but this program is going to suffer. And I'd rather them shut it down now than let us win a national championship, and then strip it and put an asterisk. I know a lot of fans out there saying, "Hell, we'll take it. We'll take that natty with an asterisk." No, not me. I'm sorry.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, Mike, because I was just thinking, even worse than what has been found, the evidence that has been found, would be our league, the Big Ten, dragging their feet because they want Ohio State and Michigan to compete for the national championship. I don't want it. Mm-hmm. I don't want it. Take care of your business. Do not shuffle your feet if you find out that this is blatant cheating. All of them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it ruins it for me because you know how I am, GT, with competition. And even when Ohio State was dominating that, it wasn't all that fun because it wasn't like two Goliaths going at it in a heavyweight championship fight. Like, I thought for once we're at this place where this is a heavyweight fight again. We might have some undefeated teams going one-on-one. And it's like, this takes that away from me. That spirit of competition, the spirit of going into the game and thinking you might lose. Like, we haven't felt that in so long, and you guys haven't felt that. It's like it's back to where it was. It's the longest rivalry in the history of sports. It's the greatest rivalry in the history of sports. It's been going on forever, and finally it's back to a head. And then this.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. The last 2 years have been, even though we won it, but it's been super exciting to see the game have real meaning, and the tradition and the rivalry really mean something. And no matter what happens from here on out, it's going to be tainted. It's going to be tainted. The haters are going to tell Michigan, you cheated. All right. And I'm glad G brought up the Patriot thing, because when you're talking about taking air out of a football, is that really cheating? I mean, is that really cheating? But Spygate, where they're videotaping the other team's practice, yeah, that's cheating. Okay, so it's a gray area. It's a fine line. I think what's cheating, like the Houston Astros beating on the garbage cans. I didn't really see that as cheating. That's just being smarter than your opponent. We're within the parameters of the game, and we're able to figure out what you're doing. It's the same reason the coaches, will take a clipboard and cover their mouth because they don't want the other team to read the lips. You're doing it within the parameters of the game. when you are sending a spy with camera glasses to another school to flat out tape the other team and know what they're doing. It's unacceptable, and I'm just beside myself about it, and I really don't want to talk about it anymore.
I know that's right. I feel, but
I was just going to say in here, I'm just like kind of going through the comments, and I've been throwing them up there, and I'm glad to know that we at least have some respectful Michigan fans, because I'm not seeing too much people making excuses and apologize, being a Harbaugh apologist. If you're cheating, you're cheating. I think that you want to have a good championship, right? If you get a national championship, you want it to be honorable, that you stood up and squared up and won the game fairly. So good job, Michigan fan. For the most part, I'm seeing it here, and we can change the subject if you want.
Two things. I just wanted to I just wanted to comment on something that Mike was saying as far as the Deflategate thing that went down. One thing that they had kind of swept under the rug, that whole year, LeGarrette Blount was having fumbling problems. A deflated ball helps a running back squeeze that ball a little harder.
Okay.
A lot of people didn't actually mention that, but the more it feels like a Nerf, the more they won't be able to punch it out.
Sure,
so
it's easier to throw and easier to catch, but the other team could do the same thing. Yeah, so yeah. I mean, there's no real competitive advantage. It's just being smarter than your opponent in some ways.
The other thing I wanted to mention, Cats, and it's crazy, man. It's a straight up blessing that you guys are on this subject of deception. A story hit me hard, dude. One of my first Detroit Lion heroes was Charlie Sanders and Lem Barney. And one of my boys, knowing that we do this and everything, sent me a doggone story about Lem Barney, dude, losing all of his dough because of the doggone family has been mishandling it, and they got some mental issues, man, and he about to die broke, dude. And I really wanted to put it out there to our Detroit Lion fan base to please look the story up, and if you could do anything to help Lem Barney, I would appreciate it, and I'm going to make some noise. I'm going to do something.
What is the deal with Lem Barney, G?
Dude, man, Lomas Brown was helping him at first. And then somebody related to Lem Barney kicked Lomas to the curb, and they started handling his funds. And all of a sudden, he broke. And he's dealing with dementia, fellas. He's going from home to home. He's in a dark. I was trying to get the story back so that I could study it and really get in tune with you guys and let you know what's going on. It's in the free press. Because I'm not a subscriber, when I tried to go back in there, it wouldn't show me.
Right.
So please, everybody listening to my voice, please look up the Lem Barney situation on what's going on with his family messing up all of his dough.
It sure seems like the Lions fans could do a GoFundMe or something.
Yeah.
It sure seems like Sheila Ford Hamp could cut a chump change check.
I heard that Dave Bing is trying to help him.
For the Ford family, that you could take care of Lem Barney for the rest of his life, and they wouldn't even feel that.
Dude, they just gave him $500,000 because of the concussion stuff and everything. When as far as that verdict 3 years ago, bro.
Because of mismanagement of funds by his handlers,
by his family.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at these comments here. Paul Jones says, if found guilty, then yes, that whole staff should be fired. I also feel this sets precedent for an investigation into all other schools as well. And I think that's a great point, because a lot of these apologists are saying, well, everybody does it. Well, if everybody has a budget and sends a spy to other games, yeah, we should look into that and stop that, because that's cheating. Now, if you want to change the rules and say this is legal, I don't think there'd be a whole lot of pushback with that, as long as everybody has the same level playing field to be able to do it.
Correct. This is brought to the attention because it was egregious. Right. Over and above, like it was. Yes, there is a precedent that everybody steals signs, but this was at such a level that it rose the attention. Like it's at a completely different level. Cameras in the glasses. What is this? Like James frickin' Bond?
He's a saint. He is the saint, dude. That's what I'm saying. He was sweet with it, sweet with that criminology.
Oh man,
they're gonna give him a custom-made Michigan jersey that says 007.
hey, and you know what? Like I'm looking at these things right here. It's like, where's A-Dub? Like A-Dub and Steve is real. Is I mean, those are the lone Green Bay fans that made it through, you know, because they found out it does hurt when he's not good at throwing the ball. So, are you going to give Clifford a shot right here? I mean, what are we going to do? What are we going to do about these Packers? Let's talk about these matchups. Let's pivot here to off of that negative shit that we were just talking about, and let's get into these games right here. You got Green Bay playing, you know, the Detroit Rams.
Don't call them that.
Well, where's all those bandwagon fans? The same as the SOL guys, right? The Detroit Rams. What happened? No, you got the Green Bay Packers going to play the Rams, right? I mean,
in Lambeau.
In Lambeau again, so they get another home game.
Also known as Ford Field North.
Ford Field North. Yep. Can they get a W in Ford Field North? I mean, Stafford looks like he's got a pretty good connection with his young receivers.
Stafford's thumb is messed up, man.
Yeah, he just coming off of a dislocated thumb, and he's questionable to play in the game. And I think that this is a game the Packers can win, even if Stafford plays. Will they? I don't know. If Stafford doesn't play, that's going to make it much easier for Green Bay to win. They've lucked out all year with the schedule. They got the Saints when Kamara wasn't there. The list goes on and on of how the schedule fell favorably from them, yet they're only able to muster 2 wins. And to the viewer who's asking about what happened to the Green Bay fans, Steve is real. Yeah. And A-Dub is the only ones that have stuck around as their team starts to tank. They're conditioned to winning 30 years in a row now. They've had a winner there. They don't know how to take losing, and they have all run and hide. At the beginning of the season, this show was full of Packer fans, so much to the point that we were getting called out by Lions fans saying, what is this, a Packer show?
Right.
So many of them.
I was there. Yep.
And now there are none.
Well, no, there's Steve. And this is what we do here. Like, instead of calling out all the bad Packer fans, we just know that A-Dub and Steve is real. Those are real Packer fans. And I respect you, and I will give you a fist bump for being my enemy, but we can hate each other, but I can respect your fandom. Yeah. I respect Bear Down Mike coming in here. He was in here at 1-5, even before there was a little spark here with Montez Sweat. Yeah, is a little kitty. That's the feline right there. That's the Detroit Lions.
He likes that whisker rub.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, he does.
Will
Good
is
morning,
real.
A-Dub.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. Jeremy B says, congrats to Sarah for getting their QB. I don't think anybody wants to talk about the Packers anymore. If they lose to the Rams, I mean, come on. I mean, they just traded the second best secondary guy. They're kind of tanking it in. I expect the Rams to win this game.
Yeah, Rasul Douglas is a freaking dude. Okay, that dude could play on my team any day.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills very smart to go out and get him, but it begs the question: what are the Packers doing? One area of their team that is in need of good help is the secondary. Why would you get rid of Rasul Douglas? Are you tanking? Are you indirectly? Is this the intentional tank that's going on here?
They're selling. They're selling at the deadline. And yeah, in a sense, you're doing that, but those guys are still going to compete. I call this a respectable way of tanking because I play in a couple fantasy football, like keeper league type of things. And then you can start trading draft picks and start working on your next year. They're $40 million behind the cap. They're $40 million behind the cap by the Aaron Rodgers trade. They kind of knew they were playing with house money, and they wanted to see if, Jordan Love could go out there and, win some games, and maybe they could have competed kind of like house money last year with the Lions. So they started off bad. So why not sell? You're going to get that money back at the end of next year. at the end of this year, and then, get a couple extra picks, get younger. And they have the youngest team in the league. I don't know if they need to
you're
get
only halfway through the season, Russ. You're giving up.
That's what I was about to say. I was like,
well, your buyer or seller at the trade deadline. I mean, they sold. So yeah, they're giving up. They're giving up like their fan base is giving up. So it's like, I don't know how many jerseys they're going to sell. I mean, it is what it is. I'm so used to the Lions being in this spot that I don't know what to do with myself, right? It's usually the Packers that are 6-2 with the Lions trying to fight for the bottom playoff rung. It's usually them that are competing for the 1 seed. It's just, the power has transferred, guys.
We are enjoying the journey. That's why I'm using this cup today.
And I've got to question the Bears on the Montez Sweat signing. There are only 2 reasons that you make a move at the trade deadline. Only 2 reasons. 1, you're trying to make a playoff push. 2, you're getting a player that helps your future. I don't see the Bears in either of those scenarios when you're talking about Montez Sweat, who's essentially a rental player. Picking up Montez Sweat is the move that a team looking at the playoffs should do. Because if you're not able to re-sign him, he at least helps you the rest of this year to help make a playoff push. He's on an expiring contract. Now, I want to preface this by saying a lot of times there's already conversations, right, that we don't know about. By the time this trade is made, there's been many conversations that we do not know about. It's very possible that the agent for Montez Sweat was in negotiations with the Bears and said, look, we totally would love to sign with you. We're willing to go to the table and negotiate, and let's do this trade now, and we'll work on getting a deal done. So it is possible that Ryan Poles could pull this off and get a deal. But right now, all of the leverage is with the player. There are plenty of money under the cap, so really they have nothing to lose. It's just money that you're going to throw away that doesn't roll over next year anyway. So what have you got to lose? At least you're taking a stab at trying to sign this player, but it's still a head scratcher for me. He doesn't help you get to a playoff because your team's too far out of it. And he doesn't secure anything for the future. You can do what's called a trade and sign or a sign and trade, where you trade for the player and then you sign him to an extension. Montez Sweat came right out after the trade and said he's not willing to sign an extension yet. So that changes things now. Now, if you let Montez Sweat walk out the door at the end of the season and you gave up a 2nd-round draft pick for him, that's a GM blunder. Now, there's a narrative out there that you could franchise tag him. I don't know if that's true. If that is true, that gives him another backdoor to save this as not a disastrous move. I don't know if you could franchise a player that you just traded for with half a year left. Somebody will have to let me know. Jeremy B., if you're out there, let us know. Is the franchise tag an option for Montez Sweat? If not, the Bears, Ryan Poles may have just made a huge blunder giving away a 2nd-round pick for this guy.
Yeah, man. And is he that good that he warranted a 2nd-round pick? And like these, you got something?
Yeah, I'm thinking the flip side. I mean, what's Washington thinking about? I mean, is it the new ownership getting rid of dogs that they can't tame or something? I mean, it's crazy because they seem to be going in a positive direction. They can't keep the consistency going, but that's some great pieces that they just let go,
It is, and it's like you said, in my opinion, it's new ownership. They want to strip it down. They want to start all over. Some of these bloated contracts that Chase Young, they're paying him all this money to not be in the game because he's hurt. Montez Sweat, they're paying him, but yet he's only got 2 sacks this year, right? He's in the bottom tier of pressure. So, that's what I think it is. I think that Washington has given up. They see how strong Philadelphia is this year, and there's no way that they're going to be able to compete. And they're only hurting themselves by keep clawing to try to get to 7 wins for the season. It's not benefiting them. And the new ownership says, you know what? Let's rip it down to the studs. Let's start all over and let's build it with our guys. And you got to wonder if Ron Rivera, everyone loves Ron Rivera, but he's been pretty crappy as the coach of the Washington Commanders. He's a great interview. The players love him. Eric Bieniemy, that has failed so far. They have a young quarterback who's finding his way, but he's showing a lot of potential. That's not enough to keep paying these guys, and they had to get rid of him. And a lot of people are criticizing Brad Holmes for not jumping on these guys. And the more as it starts to come out, it's obvious these are not character guys that fit what the Lions are doing. Russ, I know you're itching to say something about that.
No, I mean, I'm looking through these comments in here. I'm trying to find the ones that they're talking about. So I wasn't even paying attention to you. Where it looks like we got Bear Down Mike and Sarah talking. That looks like they're arguing in between trades here. Win now mode, they can afford to do that. Why would they pay for a guy that was injured every year rather than taking a guy who's consistent and plays through injuries? I think that he's talking about Chase Young in comparison to Montez Sweat. I like Montez Sweat better. They did pay more for him. I like that better long term. I mean, I like Chase Young when he was at Ohio State, but I mean, he's not available. I mean, he hasn't been available in the NFL. And I see Brad Holmes not paying a 3rd round pick. I see him going, hey, you know what? Let me know if you want to take a 6.
Look,
I mean, I'll pay you that.
Injuries are tough, but
Yep.
Let's not forget that Chase Young was a number 2 overall pick, and he was defensive rookie of the year his rookie season with 12 sacks his rookie season.
Well,
so the upside, the potential, he's worth a 3rd round pick all day, every day, in my opinion.
2023, let's put this into perspective because I want you to understand this and them out there too. So would you trade Chase Young right now for Aleem McNeil?
They play different positions, so no.
But what the point being is he's a 3rd round pick. That's what they're asking for. Would
I trade him for Charles Harris? Yes.
Well, Charles Harris is not a 3rd round pick, and you're not going to get anything money wise from Charles Harris. He's on
Charles was
a
a 1st round pick.
He was a 1st round pick, but we pay him $1.50. He took a pay cut to stay with us. We get incredible, good, high level play at a medium contract. That's Brad Holmes being the G that he is.
I would trade any of our defensive ends for Chase Young except Hutch.
You would trade James Houston for
I
Chase
was
Young?
just about to ask that
Absolutely.
Really?
You trade Josh Pascal for Chase Young?
Absolutely.
Oh, you are crazy. I am so glad you're not running our team, Main Event Mike.
12 sacks.
I think Mike is
Yeah,
I think Mike is talking
ago.
about 2020. I think you're talking about 2020,
Yep.
doggone Chase, dude, because I'm telling you, he has been diminishing.
Yeah, but look at those guys you just mentioned. What are they doing? Are they lighting the world on fire? Hell,
We have
no,
a
they're
whole
not.
bunch We
They're
have a bunch of
inexpensive,
dudes.
too, at the same time, and they got heart and loyalty for the Lions.
Maybe not James Houston because of the upside, because of the youth, but certainly any of the Okora brothers you could have, and I'd take Chase Young.
Sure, but you're not gonna. I mean, sure you'd be dropping that good depth player to get a guy that might be really good on the high end. He might be, but he might spend 8 games on the sidelines not doing shit.
Well, that's
and,
true.
and those other
I
guys.
thought we prefaced this by injuries aside. We're just talking about ability.
No, I didn't.
Because it's a hypothetical.
Okay, so hypothetically, how can you cast injuries to the side when he's always injured?
Because if you look at his rookie year when he wasn't injured, he was a beast.
Yep. And then Pascal is always injured too.
There you go.
We're still waiting on Houston to come back.
So you'd pay a 3rd round pick and lose that player. You'd pay a 3rd round pick for a guy that you're going to have to pay $20 million a year now.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It makes 0 sense to bring it. It's a nice name. That's even what Brad Holmes was saying. It's a good name. All these names that are out there that are being tweeted out, that's fine. They're great names, but it's got to make sense. It's got to make sense on our salary cap, and it's got to make sense on the compensation. And right now, I will take Brad Holmes' brain on a 3rd round pick than to trade that 3rd round pick for some dude that might work out.
Yeah, that's a good point. When you look at what Brad's done in the 3rd round, And also, I don't think Chase Young is worth $20 million either. So if that's part of it, then I'd have to backpedal on what I said, because I wasn't taking into consideration the $20 million. I'm just talking about ability, what they've done in this league, and what the upside is. I think Chase Young would be a good
looking
pick.
at Madden scores. Like, you looking at Madden scores, that's great. It's all fine when that's a 93 overall, but when he's injured in the second game and that 93 sitting in, you got to bring in 72. That sucks.
Well, I had Bo Jackson on Tecmo Bowl, so.
Woo! Bo and
about
Marcus and Sweetness was sweet on that.
Yeah.
But I think Chase actually went to the best situation. He and his character and what he's done in the league wouldn't fit here with the young Lions that are aspiring. He needs to be around veteran beast cats that can check him, in the locker room and be like, dude, you need to work more. Or, dude, you need to stretch out that blah, 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 or whatever you need to,
Mm-hmm. He's reunited now with his teammate from Ohio, Nick Bosa.
Exactly.
That could be good for him too, because there are a lot of character issues floating around out there about Chase Young. So yeah, I mean, we're talking about a player who didn't come to our division. I think we pivoted from Montez Sweat to Chase Young, but Montez Sweat to the Bears, that makes them better now. They've got Yannick Ngakoue now and Montez Sweat on the D line, so they got better for 8 games. It's up to Ryan Poles now to make this not a disaster and re-sign this guy.
And I want to put one more comment in on this Chase Young thing. I think a lot of people believe that him not taking Chase Young was some kind of indictment on Chase Young. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it has more to do with, I believe in the guys that I brought to this team from top to bottom. And yeah, we don't have a stellar 9-10 sack a year dude on the other side of Hutchinson. I get that. But what we do have is 6 or 7 guys that are going to get 2 or 3 sacks. A whole bunch of dudes that no matter what, when you bring in those guys on the rotation, you got to worry about them. You got to worry about how Julian pass rushes as opposed to how Charles Harris pass rushes, as opposed to how Romeo pass rushes, how Josh pass rushes. You're getting all kinds of different looks. And that's what wears offensive lines down over the course of a game, because you can't key in.
And then in your lane, Russ, as far as the stats and the wallet, which isn't my thing, but I really appreciate it. As a Lion, I hope you're not expecting to come into my crib and expect me to pay you more than some of my family members.
Thank you.
I got cats like Hutch.
It's my quarter.
I'm thinking about. I got Golf. I'm thinking about. I got Hendon Hooker. I'm thinking about. I got Branch. I'm thinking about. I got Amon Ra. I'm thinking about. And so if I give him what he wants, it takes away from the cats that's been helping me build this special rock of a family, of a unit that plays well together. And so I think that has something to do with it as well.
Yep. Aleem and Aiden Hutchinson will definitely be the first defensive lineman players that are probably Aleem first, because Hutchinson's going to be around for a couple more years on that rookie contract. And that's what they're doing, is Brad Holmes is playing the business part of this. There's zero chance that they were going to bring in, honestly, when you look at it, unless you bring in somebody like Crosby, that's young, that you can extend and know that he's the future. But even at that, what kind of slap in the face would that be to Aiden, who's been out there grinding for 2 years on this team, to know that some outside dude comes in and gets 25? Like, I would be like, that would shake my confidence if I'm the one that's been working.
Well, I tell you what is shaking my confidence in the positive, bringing home a Detroit cat to be in there with Hutchinson, who's a Detroit cat.
We haven't even talked about it.
I love that connection, that relationship happening, because now he's not the only one, and I think that's going to do something for both of those brothers, man.
Yeah, Donovan Peoples-Jones, acquired from the Cleveland Browns by the Detroit Lions. Love this pickup. A nice depth wide receiver, okay? But it does beg the question, what happens to Antoine Green now? Obviously, he bumps Antoine Green down the depth chart. He might even bump Jamison Williams down the depth chart. This might take some carries away or some targets away from him as well. But what I love about DPJ is he's a great blocker.
Yes.
And that is the mantra on this team. No block, no rock. And he's a great contested ball catcher. He's a good 50-50 ball guy.
Yes, he is.
He's taller. He's 6'2". He plays outside the numbers. This is a piece that we needed. We needed that element to our receiving room. This is a great pickup. He didn't cost us hardly anything. And he placates that part of the fan base that says, do something. And he did something, but he didn't do anything stupid. And that is also, I mean, it's addition by subtraction. You don't do something stupid that hurts your team, like potentially we see in Chicago.
Yeah. It felt like he brought family. He brought more family. We lost family in Marvin Jones. We replaced it. You know, it's like the same type of character cat, again, from Detroit Cass Tech, you know, so he knows the area. He sees the growth, you know, he grew up a Lions fan, you know, so it feels right, you know, and J-Mo is also a great down the field blocker, but he is perfect in this position of getting less targets and just concentrating on blocking down the field and stretching the defense. A couple targets is cool for him. He's starting to concentrate a little bit more. He's still dropping one every game, you know, but I think he still works well in this offense that we have, you know. And Antoine Green, I think he's got some growing to do, but I think he's going to be great. But hey, that's one of the problems of being deep in the wide receiver room,
right?
You know? And Josh Reynolds, okay?
Right.
Don't nobody talk about him, but he's nothing but quiet clutch. He's quiet clutch. You don't have to talk about him, but he always comes through.
Right on. Jeremy Ballreich from Kneecap Biting with Jeremy B. He says that Donovan Peoples-Jones is replacing what we thought Marvin Jones Jr. was. So I think that's a perfect take on what we're talking about here. You know, we lose Marvin Jones. He has a personal, I think that's an upgrade. Donovan Peoples-Jones is an upgrade from Marvin Jones to fill that same spot. Our good friend Sarah, who's a Viking fan, I want to pose this question from her to you. Is this an indictment, GT, on Jamison Williams by getting Donovan Peoples-Jones?
Whoo, I don't think so. Okay. I think it definitely is a statement, a light statement of, if you were ready, we may not have to. We probably wouldn't even have to go after Marvin Jones, type of thing. You know, if you came in super ready. However, I got care and I got empathy for what this young brother has gone through. You know, as far as in the first 2 years, he has not been able to concentrate on strictly football. You know, it was first healing and then first getting over the doggone disciplinarian action of the gambling thing. You know, so he's still working things out. But while he's working out, we still got to handle business as a family, as an organization, you know. So I don't look at it as an indictment on J-Mo. I look at it as a replacement and an upgrade, like you said, Mike.
All right, well, let me rephrase the question. If Jamison was having an incredible year, would you still get Donovan Peoples-Jones? No, you wouldn't. Because
I don't know.
You would know that your wide receiver depth is set.
Don't ask the question and then answer it.
Well,
because you came in with a tone like you speaking for all of us, right?
It's what's called a rhetorical. It's a rhetorical question. I'll give you an example.
You do make it.
I'll give you an example. Has CJ Stroud ever beaten Michigan? See, it's a rhetorical. No, he hasn't. See, now I can answer that in a rhetorical fashion. So it's absolutely allowed.
Okay, so you say that there's no way that they would have picked up Donovan Peoples-Jones. For one, I don't think it's an indictment on Jamison at all because they play completely different styles. I mean, you got I think he's out. All right. He's like, I'm out of here.
Right.
I'm out of here.
You
Yeah.
won't listen to my question.
So, but no, I think Donovan Peoples-Jones is a big receiver. I mean, he plays like Marvin Jones does. We didn't really even have that on the roster at all, with that big body receiver that could go up and make contested catches and stuff like that. And that's what they got right there. And you did allude to it earlier, Mike, which was the Antoine Green. Just shows that Antoine Green needs to go down a depth chart. He can sit on the practice squad, continue to learn. He is, I think, the long-term version of that, but maybe Donovan Peoples-Jones can come in and earn a contract in here. But I think it's a perfect fit.
Yeah,
Jameson Williams isn't going to stop getting his touches. Ben Johnson is still going to figure out a way for 4 or 5 times in a game, they're going to get the ball in the hands of Jameson. They tried. They got those four touches in there.
It's the veteran presence. You know, I believe that's why I don't feel like it's the same category as J-Mo. I feel like
Right.
Antoine is a taller version of Khalif Raymond in the sense of how many years was Khalif working his behind off trying to make this team, trying to get, to where he is now,
Yeah.
You know,
I think he would have made that move anyway, because that's Brad Holmes' style, is a double, triple, quadruple down. If he can make the team better, he's going to make the team better. And a 6th-round pick for an established wide receiver that's good, I mean, that's a no-brainer.
That's good at what we need too.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that. I mean, let's look at it in the form of targets right now. Jameson's getting, they're trying to get the ball 5 to 7 times in a game. I don't think that's going to change with or without Donovan Peoples-Jones. That's my opinion on that.
Yeah.
Same. And I do believe they would have gotten him regardless. That's Holmes' job isn't to figure out if Jameson's ready or not. Holmes' job is just to, get the guys in.
Fill holes.
Yep. Oh, I got a way to make the team better. Okay. Is he better than Antoine Green? Oh yeah. Well, Donovan Peoples-Jones, get it done. All right. Here we are. No, Donovan Peoples-Jones will be replacing what we thought. And yeah, I believe that. We wanted Marvin Jones Jr. to be that jump it up, catch it guy like he was when he was the number 1 here, when he was here before. God, he made some great catches. He made some great catches that year that Calvin retired. Yeah. I remember him like going underneath and it just some beautiful contested catches. He's good at that.
Yeah.
But Donovan Peoples is like that too. Jordan, I see what you did there. Yeah, I think that I'm in to somebody's conversation right here. But we didn't hit the other 2 games right there. Minnesota is playing the Atlanta Falcons, and they got a brand new quarterback, G. They traded for Josh Dobbs. I know that you like him. Do you think that can somehow salvage? You think he can play well enough to make them a competitive team going down the stretch?
I think they're going to need to create another offense. He's going to come into the offense, but his mobility creates another threat as far as kind of like in the same sense of what Lamar and Mahomes and Josh Allen, that mobility to give your receivers even more time to get open, right. And he's pretty accurate. He's not Cousins accurate, but he's pretty accurate. But again, he comes in and he's able to do more with his legs.
Right.
Yeah.
And this Minnesota team on the offensive line part, that is a very good team offensive line wise. I've been tracking them this season, and every week when we're doing the PFF grades, they usually have 2, 3, sometimes even 4 of these offensive linemen that are right up in the top of their highest graded players. So he's walking into a good situation where they know how to protect the quarterback. Maybe Cam Akers comes out a little bit right here. Maybe the offense somehow, I mean, I'm a Kirk Cousins guy.
You like that?
I love me some Kirk Cousins. I like a good distributing pocket quarterback that knows what he's doing, and I think that's what Kirk Cousins is. I think they're gonna fail in this trade. I think they're gonna really miss Kirk Cousins in the way that he managed the game, but I could be wrong. Maybe Josh Dodd comes in and resurrects his career, so to speak, because I don't think he's ever had an opportunity like this to play behind a line that isn't making him run for his life all the time and, scatter around and trying to find wide receivers. He's
got better. He's got better weapons.
Way better
At
weapons.
the Cardinals, yeah. And he has some very good wins at the Cardinals, that I truly felt like he engineered with his ability, with his style of play. He, of course, he's not in the upper epsilon, but he ain't horrible either.
But you never know, man. It's like sometimes these guys just get it after a while. Look at Geno Smith, man. Like he just
Tyrod too, man. These cats, man, been around for a while, and then all of a sudden, hold on. So yeah.
People underestimate the game managing QBs that just because that's 90% of your game, guys. It's just sit back in the pocket. Read 1, read 2, read 3. Let me get the ball out of my hand, get it in the hands of my playmakers. All the sexy stuff that happens every once in a while, 10% of the time, where the guy escapes the pocket and the quarterback's got to make something happen. That's nice. That's cute. But I would rather have a guy. I like the mobility, but the 90% is more important to me than the 10%. Like if you're a statue, as long as you can get the ball out of your hand and you can get it into the hands of your playmakers, you're all right by me. I'm good with that, And out of the 24 people that we got watching on this YouTube right over here on this screen that you guys can't see, I would love for you guys to like the video that you're watching. That would be nice. Pow. You hit that like button because that's free and that helps us. And if you're watching me and GT right now, you're obviously a football fan. You're not going to watch talking heads talk about football unless you're a football fan. So there we go. You guys are awesome. I'm glad that they listen. Wow. I like it. As soon as you say that.
I like the complete quarterback, I'd say one of my favorite or my all-time favorite winningest quarterback to me is Steve Young.
It's my quarterback.
And I love lefties. I love the way that it looks. It's something about it. But I'm a little biased to that. But his mobility, he could get the ball out quick, stay in the pocket, run around a little bit, juke some cats, lose his helmet and make some more yards. He was a tough cat. Those are the cats that I like. And Josh Dobbs reminds me of someone in that realm that maybe he's not as sweet as a Steve Young and some other attributes, but he's got that extra threat, to be able to get around.
And he's good enough with that arm that he can make you pay with the arm too. I think Joe Burrow reminds me a lot of a right-handed Steve Young because he just makes Hollywood. He makes miracles happen.
It's crazy how every year around the 4th game, watch out.
Yep, that's right. That's right. How much time do you got, G? Are you good for a minute?
I'm good.
Okay, what I want to do is I want to give everybody an opportunity to talk to GT from And We Know Sports right here. So I'm going to throw the link into all of the comments. And gosh, where would I throw a link in? Well, we are streaming live into Mike the Bear fan right there. And we are streaming live into Detroit Lions News, which is the Detroit Lions News podcast now. Joe Chap has that thing going on every single week. Great content going in there. And we got some people popping into the backstage. And the Detroit Lions Villain Squad right here. This is the juice that makes the whole ship run right here. If you hit that follow button and then you like the video that you're watching right now, that helps us out so much. And we appreciate it so much when you do that. So now, as we got some of these people in the back right here, welcome to the program from the South Florida Tribune, Jeremy Ballrick.
Yeah. What up, guys? Let me fix my camera.
What up, though?
What up, though?
Fixing my camera for you just a second.
All right, there we go.
Fix that camera. We want to see that big, beautiful, bald head.
That's right.
Hey, God only made a few perfect heads. He put hair on the rest of them.
Oh, that's good.
I'm not bald. This is a solar panel for a sex machine. That being said, let's get into this.
We're live, everybody.
I think Mike might have looked back because he said that Chase Young had 12 sacks his rookie year. No, he had 7.5 sacks. Chase Young has never had double-digit sacks at any time in his career. He's got 14 total now at 3.5 years. Why? Because he missed a year and a fucking half.
Yeah. Okay.
I said the only way he had 12 sacks. The only way he had 12 sacks was if you were playing Madden his rookie year.
Oh, yeah. So that is a total. That's just him looking at the total. See, we do this all the time because he
has 14 sacks right now after week whatever.
Home of the bad takes. We're awesomely average here on this show, and we love being average. We're just like all you guys out there.
We said as soon as Marvin Jones left this roster, we're going to depend on a 7th-round pick in UDFAs to fill the void of Marvin Jones Jr., and they haven't been able to do it because Marvin Jones Jr. hasn't been here mentally all season.
Yeah. Right. And they gave it a shot. They gave Antoine Green a couple games out there. But had them going out and getting a veteran. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, that's a good move.
It's a veteran on the last year of his rookie contract. And let's go back to that 2020 draft because I was mistaken and I put it in the comments. It wasn't Will Harris we grabbed before DPJ. You want to know what 3 players we grabbed before DPJ? You want to cry? Quintez Cephas, Jason Huntley, and John Penasini.
Oh, yeah. Penis and I. That's right. That's right. I remember. Yeah.
None of them on the current roster.
Talk about that on
we're gonna buy the kneecap off.
Oh my gosh. Welcome. This is one of the lone Viking fans that's left on planet Earth. Yeah. I thought Jamez was going to be the one that was the last person standing, but it ends up being Sarah. This is our Vi Queen. Welcome to the program.
What's up, everyone?
Hey, what up, though?
I'm just mad that they did not include Madison in that trade to go to Arizona.
Well, that's because they didn't want him.
They should have stipulated if they want that 6th round, they got to take Madison.
Yeah, but if they would have taken Madison, it would have went down to a 7th round.
No, if they'd have taken Madison, you guys would have had to give a 1st rounder for them to take him.
Probably.
We're gonna buy the kneecap off.
I mean, he's leading the league in running back fumbles.
Oh. My good friend Chad is backstage right here. So welcome to the program, the most fearless Bigfoot hunter on planet Earth right here. Welcome to the program, Chad.
What up, Chad?
What up, though?
Hey, everybody. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Jeremy. Hi, I forget your name, and Russell.
That's Grove, GT.
Grove.
Hey.
Think about any sports car. What does it end with? GT.
Yep, that's right.
That's right.
He's super fast right there, and he has his own
the way he
show.
plays that bass.
I'm going to call you on that, Jeremy. You left out SS. A lot of sports cars,
No, but GT was the first one. GT was the first in the original name of every sports car. SS didn't come out to the 60s. GTs came out in the 50s.
Grand Touring, baby.
And there you go. Oxen Hawks. You can follow him on Facebook right there. GT, the OGT. There you go. There.
Everybody asked, why didn't the Lions get a defensive end or a defensive tackle at the trade deadline? If you watch the presser when Brad Holmes released that we finally had a trade done at 3:15 in the afternoon, he looked like he'd been sparring with Mike Tyson for 11 straight rounds, being on the phones for the last 16 hours, trying to find a trade partner. And when he couldn't find what he wanted defensively, you know what he said? Screw it. I'm going to fill the wide receiver room, and calls Cleveland because DPJ, while only targeted 18 times in 8 games, we are through week 8, right?
Yep.
He was on the field for 83% of the offensive snaps. What does that mean? They run the ball 60% of the time. He was their one run blocking wide receiver, 100%. He is the reason why their backups are still doing good with Chubb being out for the season. He's the reason why Kareem Hunt is doing well. So I'm not saying that he didn't try, because you looked at him. He was sweating. He was tired. He was leaning on the podium when he talked to the media. He was exhausted.
That's that grit. That's that grit. So that's what we'll call this segment right here. Are you mad at Brad?
I'm in relax mode. I'm in relax mode because guess what? Despite all of us saying, oh, he needed to do this and he needed to do that, we're 8th in defense. We're 2nd in offense, and we got better on the offense. Miami has to go through their gauntlet of the 2nd-place teams they have to face. We've already played 3 of those teams out of the 4 outside of the divisions we play.
But they are who we thought they were.
Guess who the other one we play is? And they're floundering. No. I'm talking about coming up right after the bye, the Chargers, who are floundering like a fish out of water. They have a coach that can't find his ass with both hands on the map.
That is I'm just going to go on record right now and say that the Chargers team is a scary team for the Lions to face coming right off the bat.
On paper, they are the scariest team there. But I have a little tidbit for you. Their quarterback is mid. Everybody calls him elite. He's mid. You want to know why I say that? There are 5 quarterbacks who have better numbers statistically every year than him. And guess who one of them is when you go by completion percentage and touchdown to interception ratio? JG.
That's right.
I feel you, man. I want to. When we went into the last game, I said the same thing. Like these are when we Dallas, right? Dallas is the only game on the schedule that I'd be like, okay, all right, let's go. All the other ones we should win. I feel like we should win, but it's like
only
that,
2 that scare me, and it's because of,
inside of me, you know,
because of Dan Campbell's track record on the road. The only 2 teams that scare me is at US Bank Stadium, because we have not beat Minnesota there yet. Say what you want, no matter how good our team is doing, we have not won there yet since he's taken over. And the other one is Dallas.
Okay.
Because, hey, you say what you want.
I have 3 on my list, but
I had us winning in Charger land because we'll have more fans there than they will, just like we did at Tampa Bay.
Well, let me ask you guys out there, guys. I'm a little bit scared of the Chargers. How are you feeling about the Chargers? I know that you like Justin Herbert, G.
I'm excited to see this matchup. I'm excited to see this matchup of the 4th down coach versus another 4th down coach. Who's going to have the bigger balls?
That's Dan Campbell.
It's my quarterback.
It could be decided in a cage match.
There was something that I had. There was something that I had made a statement about on my show last week on And We Know Sports. Man, back in 2020, I started looking at last names and how they correspond to the way that the person acts, yo. And I'm telling you, ever since he became the head coach, the doggone Chargers have been playing stale, just like Staley, you know. As long as before Staley, Herbert was amazing, you know, and it's just something about that doggone offense. You can see how Jacksonville has turned it around since they got Peterson. You could tell, man, it's just something about coaching and that relationship between the coach and the quarterback. I'm telling you, yeah.
I feel you, man. How about you, Chad? Are you scared of the Chargers at all?
Not the Chargers at all. No.
Okay.
I'm more scared of Minnesota or Green Bay than the Chargers, honestly.
I'm not even scared of Green Bay. Their defense is trash.
It's a division
I
team,
hope.
man.
They just traded away their starting safety opposite Darnell Savage.
I hope that Jeremy B is right on this, because I'm telling you, this team, our secondary against quarterbacks that can, you know, throw the rock. they've been, even in the last game, I mean, Garoppolo missed Devontae Adams on a long pass right there. I mean, we have not proven that we're not susceptible to these long, big plays yet. Our defense is really, really, really good, but a couple teams have exposed us on that deep ball, and Justin Herbert can throw the deep ball. That's my only concern.
Those receivers can catch the ball too.
Yep.
And Eckler is no joke.
So
I'm more scared of Eckler than Justin Herbert and the receivers.
And he's
because
warming
Justin
up.
Herbert, he has not been consistent. One week he looks good. The next week he looks bad. Almost like he can't read a defense. Justin Fields bad.
What's the Chargers O-line grade? Are they gonna be able to maintain?
They are all below top 15. Every single one of them on that line, including Rashawn Slater, is ranked below top 15.
There's going to be pressure on Herbert, and you saw what that did to
Garoppolo. And they're coming off a big win too.
You saw what that did to Garoppolo. I mean, he was pressured on that overthrow to Adams.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to have an O line. And
here's the thing:
Jimmy G would still miss Devontae.
Well,
good stuff.
Jimmy G with time actually does well. What we didn't allow was Jimmy G time. We were pressuring him on 71% of passing downs, is why he only completed 10 passes to 10 different players.
Jimmy G has never been sweet on the long ball, though. He's a mid-range cat, yo. You can remember in the Super Bowl, yo, they was blazing him for the longest for missing that deep pass. You know?
That's fine. Let him. I don't care. I've seen Jimmy G do enough where they don't lose games. He doesn't normally do that bad where he puts his team in a losing position. But at the same time, this team is not playing like a team like it should. The talent on paper said this should have been an 8 or 9 win team at worst.
But was Jimmy G good because he was in that San Fran system, though?
Jimmy G also looked good when Tom Brady was out in that system. So you can't say he's a system QB because every QB is a system QB. It depends on what system you're in.
So it looks like we got some mixed emotions on this. I mean, there's some Herbert. Give the Lions some issues. We got some people just believing that we're just gonna beat these guys, and we should. This is the game they absolutely should win. This is a team that was awesome on paper at the beginning of the year. They had all these great, nice lists.
Up, down, up, down, up.
Nice
down.
list. They're way better on paper. It's like the Green Bay Packers.
They're due for their down game.
You guys all laughed at me in the beginning back in June when I told you watch out for Seattle. Seattle is going to be the surprise.
I didn't laugh at
nobody laughed at you about Seattle. We got our asses kicked by Seattle.
I said it's a revenge game and we're going to give them a dog fight, but I don't know if we win, is what I told you, Chad.
Okay. Don't mistake us for the chats that you get involved in that stupid group that you're part of, the with the huddle that has a bunch of poser Packer fans in it.
I'm kicked out of it. Paul Merkel.
Yeah, they kick everybody out. They're so soft.
Reported me.
Paul Merkel cannot take being corrected.
2 weeks. I've been muted.
Yeah, Paul Merkel cannot stand being corrected. He can't. And Paul Merkel gives such great takes, as in Justin Fields will be our MVP as soon as he gets hurt. Oh, it's Tyson Bagent for MVP now.
This comment was 2 days ago, and I just now got muted in there. So he must have just saw it and reported me. So Huddle didn't find it. He reported it. But I have a question. Max Crosby's a free agent after this year. Is he able to be?
He's not a free agent. He just signed a 3-year deal this year.
Okay.
But his dead cap clears up that he could be moved in the offseason after June 1st, after the draft. So if you're telling me, after the draft in Detroit, and we could keep our day 1 and day 2 picks and show off in front of the fans, that we might be able to work out a deal to send 2 firsts and a second to get Max Crosby opposite Hutch after the draft. That I'm salivating over.
Oh, gosh, I don't know, man.
I don't think they would do it after the draft, though. I think they would want it before.
Why? They're going to be a rebuilding team.
So they're
going to want draft capital. because
Yeah.
they have
Fired the GM and coach.
they just fired the GM, coach, and offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
That's
but
how bad it was.
why would they trade you Crosby after the draft when they need those draft
Right.
picks to
Right.
draft in that draft?
I mean, it's a pipe dream, just like it was 2 days ago. Is a pipe dream because
yes, I
we're
did hate it, Dennis Mike Berger. Thanks
we ain't
for
gonna do it.
pointing out that I've been on a waiting list for the last 3 years with University of Michigan to get my teeth fixed because I've got a genetic condition that causes this. Thanks.
Well, I usually don't draw any attention to people that are intentionally.
I'm not afraid. I'm not ashamed of how I look. I know I got a face for radio. I just come on these shows.
Well, look at me.
So yeah, let's get some character out there, guys.
I'm so ugly. I had to feed my dog by slingshot. I don't care. I'll pick on myself. Y'all don't have to do it for me. I know I'm fat, but I'm a shape. Round's in shape.
Hey, you pick on yourself on your own damn show. On this show, we're not going to make fun of anybody, and we're going to keep it football. So, Mike, knock it off in the comments so Jeremy can't see your comments. And Jeremy, stop bringing to light that people are being negative. It's okay.
I don't care.
It's okay. It's okay.
I don't have thin skin. I went to 13 schools before I graduated high school. You learn to have thick skin as the new kid every fucking year.
All right. All right. From my school, part of thin skin is not drawing so much attention to it. So thicken up that skin while you come on here. All right. Get it thicker, even thicker right there. Now we're back into the football.
Saying is what type of mental
football
midget,
talk.
What type of mental midget picks on people for how they look?
Nobody, unless you're a mental midget.
Exactly.
You're killing me.
I'm quite sure his bus is just a little short.
All right, back to football, Jeremy.
Jeremy,
let's go back to football. There.
Please, let's go back to.
How much is Donovan People-Jones costing us?
1.5 million, which is
like losing control of my own show here.
1.5 million, so sorry. And there's no dead cap. This was a win-win trade. Let's say he's playing like butt 4 games down the road. We can cut him, and it doesn't cost the Lions a dime.
All right, guys, like here, Chad, I'm going to ask a question on the show here. And Jeremy, this is crazy. All right, let's get back into the groove of the show here.
Yeah, I'm back.
Great point. Great point, JB. The game against Green Bay, Jimmy kept them in without completely screwing up. All right, I'm completely off my game. I'm gonna punt. I'm completely off of my game in this show right here.
I know what he's talking about.
All right, I'm going to end my show now, right here. Like, this completely got off the rail. Sorry, Jeremy, for somebody making fun of you on the show. I'm sorry to all the listeners that had to listen to the last 10 minutes of this show. And I'm going to listen and I'm going to say, gosh. GT, would you like to plug your show at this point in time, man? I'm at a loss for words at this point.
Every Thursday, 7 p.m. and We Know Sports on High Dimension Networks on Roku or www.high.tv. Me and my partner Fontaine, we on there talking Lions, we talking football, we talking college sports, we talking baseball, basketball, everything, music, so we have a good time. We got a few skits, a lot of humor. We have a real good time, so tune in tonight. We got something else special for you tonight too.
Very, very nice. Thank you, GT. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Jeremy B. Man, I'm sorry that whole thing got crossed there at the end, but I mean, for the sake of the show, we got to the show must go on, man. We can't cry over spilled milk in the middle of the shows. So when it comes down to that, so God bless you guys right here. This is what I'll say to you. I want to say a blessing over your life because I want to be in this spot. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again, which will be tomorrow morning for Football Talk with Russell Wayne. God bless you. Peace and love. right. Thank you for watching the broadcast today. This is what we call the pipe down. I need this more today than maybe I ever have.
Goose Fraba.
Goose Fraba. I have to calm down. I have to calm down in my own spirits. Okay, cool. I'm glad. Thank you for that, Brent. I appreciate that. Sometimes I feel like I get into my own head. You know, I like being here. I always talking some football. But sometimes I get into a spot. I'm sitting here on this camera. I don't know what to say. Like when the show goes into a different spot. I appreciate Chad for coming in and, you know, trying to take the awkwardness out. I appreciate GT for coming in and trying to take the awkwardness out. And even Jeremy.
Just a spiral.
It just kept going. I appreciate Jeremy. Jeremy was trying to spiral it out too. Like everybody was trying to spiral it out. And speaking of spiral out,
yes,
mark February 17th on your calendar. Toolology, my Tool tribute band, Grove's Tool tribute band. We're gonna be playing at the Machine Shop in Flint. I'll be putting some media out for that. And we got some surprises. We got some great surprises for that show that have never been done on any one of our shows before. We might just blow some minds. Yeah, that would be a good one for Chad to go to, because I know that Chad has seen the solo Russ but he has not seen any of the full band incarnations, and I think
powerfully electric Russ.
You got to see the electric Russ.
Whoa.
You solo tonight again there?
That'll be tomorrow night. Tomorrow night at Jester's.
Or Friday. Okay. I'm thinking about it. I really am.
It feels good. And this one goes out to all those Green Bay fans that are out there right there. I understand that you guys want to be in witness protection. I don't understand. You know, we took all of your slander. We took all of your verbal beatdowns all summer long and all last year too. On the open mic, you on your high horse. And now I actually have the guy that kicked me out of the group sends me a message that said, I raised my voice to him and said that the Packers suck. I'm like, that's kind of what Smack Talk. I mean, we run a trash talking show, but not anymore. Since y'all can't handle trash talking, it's going to be a couch talking show, right? We want to take your feelings into consideration from here on out, okay? We don't want to hurt your feelings. We want you to feel good about coming on to the show. I'm sorry your team's bad. I'm sorry. I mean, we've dealt with it for years and years and years. You know, we've just found a way to try to be happy on Sundays anyway. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being mean to you.
How can we help, Russ? How can we help?
Well, they have to receive the message. They have to forget. They have to forgive us for being so harsh.
To forgive themselves.
Mike was already apologized 3 weeks in a row about being so harsh, and you know, the king of sting. It stung a little bit too hard. I'm sorry.
Sean Dorn's in witness protection.
Yep. See, Brent even says that. You know, Brent says that. You know, it was funny. You know, where was that spot at right there? He knew that. Great show right there. Rob says he's sexier than Russ. Brent says, why am I apologizing? It was funny. It was funny. I'm apologizing because the Green Bay Packer fans are soft and they can't help it. We make fun of them and they get their feelings. They get all into their feelings. Right there. right there, if you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, I love QR codes. That's pretty cool. You just point your camera right on that QR code. It takes you right to the YouTube channel. And that's free. That's free love. We love free love. But just remember that we do this because we love it. You know, we don't get paid by Detroit Lions. We don't have some big corporation that, you know, backs us up being talking heads and they pay us. Any money that we do make comes from the love of you guys. And you guys hitting like, you guys, you know, subscribing and being our followers, and then, you know, sharing this content to other people. That's how you support us. And we appreciate that. We really do. They don't hook up. We do it just because we love it, man. I love the way that this football makes it so we can spend time with our family. It gives us a reason, like, to hang out with each other. Not that we should need a reason, but football on Sundays with my son and I, we spend every Sunday together. I couldn't ask for anything more than to go watch football games with him and hang out with him and you know, experience these things. So use it. Use football. Don't let football use you.
Yeah. And it's okay. Sometimes, you know, Packer fans, you just, you know, not good enough. You know, I mean, the colors and everything right there, you know, it's all right. It's all right. You got next year. You got more games this year. Just work harder. Study harder.
Yeah. He just wants to keep it civil, Brent. No, I don't. But when it comes to the stuff, I'm not mad at Jeremy B at all at that stuff at the end. To me, it's kind of BS that you put them in a position, you make people feel insecure when you put comments. Yeah. I mean, you want to go out there, you want to, you know, pick at people and make fun of people. I don't like that. I don't like it if you're in the comments making fun of somebody. I mean, maybe you didn't mean it all that much. You know, we forgive you, but we want this to be a show where people come on here and safe. Even if they throw something up that's kind of dumb to you, you know, keep that part to yourself. Don't personally attack people. We love the space in here. And when we make fun of people, like I honestly don't want to hurt somebody's feelings for real. We're just having some fun. There's 4 teams in this division. Only one of them can win. We certainly haven't been that team. If anything, we've given you an idea on how to act sportsmanship wise. We've taken losing completely well as fans on this program. And we want you to do the same thing too. It's all fun, guys. It's just fun. Talk a little smack. If you can't handle a little bit of trash talk, maybe this isn't the show for you. And I'm okay with that. You can go somewhere else where it's nice and cozy. That's fine. There's fan pages. You can be totally all into your fandom, all into that team. That's it. All we do is talk Lions. That's it. Ever. It's like, I'm going to shun the outside world. We don't want to see anything else.
Rumor has it Packers are going 10-0 the rest of the season on their fan pages.
Techno?
No.
What? Like that techno?
No, rumor has it Packers are going 10-0.
Oh,
for the season.
10-0.
That's what they're saying on their fan pages.
Actually, it was more exciting and more believable that they were going techno.
Hey, Russ, speaking about techno, my son Justin, my oldest boy, is coming down here this weekend. They got a big old retro gaming show convention. Everything, all the old school games, all in one spot.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
It don't get no better than that.
That's right.
Old school. Like, it's amazing. Like, back in the day, we had to buy cartridges for all these little games. And I bought this little thing that had like a the old school like arcade controllers to it. It had like 8,000 games on it. And it was like, man, now they can all fit it in one little microchip. Like all of the games that were in the arcades that we played in, like it's all on one little microchip. It's amazing. We're dinosaurs, guys.
Yep.
We're dinosaurs. Yep. Oh man. Well, this is going to be the end of our time right here, but there, we do this every day, and I want to invite you one last time. Football Talk with Russell Wayne. We got GT on Thursdays here from And We Know Sports every Thursday coming in. Fridays, we hit up all the gambling stuff, doing all the point spread talk. We're going to take some over and unders, pick some of these prop bets because that stuff's fun. I don't gamble myself, but I definitely like to put it out there. Like what I think is going to happen. I don't like to gamble. I don't believe in that part of it, but I do like participating in the game of making the picks. So that's tomorrow's show at 11 a.m. But every show that I end, like for real end, nothing goes better with the end of a show better than Green Bay Tears. God bless you guys. Talk to you tomorrow.
It's not fair!